Alright, folks, here we are. Let me drop down the sound. There we go. So, folks, what we are going to do today? It's not going to be really that difficult. I mean, it's just a couple sketches. Two, to be more exact. We're going to design two characters today. And those characters are last two characters for my artistic universe. So basically, basically, what we are going to do, we have two characters, right? We have a angel, assassin, it's the angel shadow, and devil sage. So a bit of a yin yang, right? In every evil there's a little bit of good, and in every good there's a little bit of evil, more or less this kind of stuff. And yeah, like, that's the thing, right? I'm thinking that it might be an effect of our girly, right? She's a witch, so she might have had an effect on people, right? Doing stuff, like, you know, oh, you like, you are going to be this kind of, you know, class and etc. And they were like learning because she required them to. So yeah. Hi Muto, glad to be here. How are you? Hope brain has gone. Today I am expecting this to be rather slow, right? I'm expecting this whole thing to be rather slow. Yeah. Team Lost Grace, Male Demon Sage. Let's start from that. Male Demon Sage. That's a dually. Definitely. So Male Demon Sage. What is that going to entail? Yeah, we need to find reference photos for stages. Starting off. Sage. D&D. I'm going to look at D&D artworks because basically it's going to be like, you know, Sage. Yeah, Sage. It's like Sage is genuinely like a guy who's just wearing like some alchemy stuff. Hi T, hi. The drawing I'm working on, I only have the base colors done at the moment. I'm working on a commission right now. Ooh, that's nice. That's really good. Commissions are nice. That's definitely a thing. So yeah, I really like one outfit that I see here. Can I? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to more or less go with it. Not exactly one-to-one, but like more or less. After all, we are drawing a devil. And a demon, sorry. So you have an angel and a demon. I think those are going to look a bit differently from what we have for Ariel, for example, right? Because she's a tiefling. And I want demons to be a bit different. Yeah. So tiefling and demon, different thing. And hi T, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope how's going? I'm not sure if I said it to you already, so Gotta be sure. Yeah. All's good, all's nice. I'm happy to provide. Like for now, I'm just making design character arts. Design character arts are a bit different. Because believe me or not, actually, design character art is supposed to only entail the design of the character, so no crazy posing. But we are going to make a team photo for each team, right? So we're going to draw for each team several, several things. Several. Yeah. Exactly. Words are hard. Yeah, today words are hard. I actually lost a lot of from my day because I went on to get some groceries with my mom. That's usually taking a lot from my day, so I didn't do much. I'm kind of angry at myself, but at least I've relaxed a little bit playing some Yakuza. We've done a lot, surprisingly, on the Yakuza. We've played a little bit of it and we've unlocked new style, we've upgraded our character a little bit. I think for now we are like capped for the rush style for Kiryu. We didn't change the character yet because there is one. There's a change. So yeah. So I want a little bit of a wrapping here. It's going to hold up the chest x-ray. Chest x-ray? Oh. Hi Hitori, got over here. How are you? Hoping it's going? How are you, Hitori? How are you? Just relaxing, I see. Same. I'm having some time off. I'm trying to use 100% of it. On Monday I'm coming back to work. We'll see actually in the upcoming week if I'm actually going to have the contract extension or not. Boss told me that I've got the job. He says that I'm trying, that I've got the job, that I have it. You know. We'll see. And let's get a thing here, like a wrapping, like this, kind of like an amulet. I'm still wondering of the facial features of the demon race in my world, in my high fantasy world. I think I might make more or less a mix between Dragon King and the, what were those now? G. Dragon King and Tieflings. I can't remember that name. Mm-hmm. Mm. That's true, yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Oh, just Davis, if it seemed I was causing problems in the critic server. No, why? Problems in the critic server? How come? Wait, did something happen that I wasn't aware? Wait, let me check what happened. Mm. Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. If someone is posting stuff on the... I don't like... Personally, I don't like the word flow. It's not like a flow. I was just posting some free art for people to critique. Didn't mean for it to cause any issues. It didn't cause any issues, I guess. But like, here's the thing. Like, you did a good thing. I wouldn't say... I wouldn't call it a flow. If people can like point out stuff, it's always good to rather point out stuff instead of like saying like, oh, this is so easy to notice. A lot of people, for example, might struggle with noticing stuff. Like, let's remember that everyone is training the eye differently, right? So the thing is that if someone is not learning how to notice their own issues, right, then they need someone to point things out to them so they could start working on those things. That's why the critics server is. So figuring out like, oh, if you do it this way, if you do it that way, like also like just pointing out the thing is not also criticism, right? The proper criticism is to structure it correctly. In art it's necessary, especially in well, in art it would be, it's kind of necessary to also like maybe provide a guidance to people, right? At times people need that guidance, and I think, you know, just saying that something is flawed or, oh, this is a flaw, that is a flaw, that's a bit bad wording, because it kind of makes it like, you know, oh, your artworks are full of flaws. It's not like, oh, you need to learn a little bit. It's like you are drawing so bad that your artworks have so many flaws, etc. Right? Like this is about how to properly preserve that in that kind of idea. But well, I don't see like any kind of argument. I think Zega kind of like shown what's going on, right? Like he pointed out, you know, the like the muscle area and stuff. So yeah, let's keep in mind that, you know, something like talent doesn't exist. I'm still new to the server. I didn't know. No, it's okay. What are you talking about? There's nothing to there's nothing to like, you know, oh, I didn't know. Like, you've shown your artwork and asked for criticism. That's it. You've done everything correctly on that side. I didn't see any issues with that logic. It doesn't matter if you already know some stuff. It doesn't matter if you notice things that you need to spot, right? There's always like, someone might also notice something else in the artwork. That's why it's also really good to point things out, even though someone knows a little bit of those things. Like, I know, for example, that some of my artworks have a couple issues, right? Like, even those more advanced ones that I've spent a lot of time on, I can say that they have issues. But at times people are pointing things out that they've never really took care to see, if that makes sense. So, like, no matter if someone knows already things, it's good to point out everything we see, because sometimes we might open someone's eyes to it. And for example, my eyes were pointed out to some stuff. Like, for example, I've never really bothered to pay closer attention. I heard that mapping art is great when you use box mapping. Kinda. It depends what you want to achieve, but yeah. If it's fitting your way of working out things, it's going to, you know, just going to work out. But yeah, you know, the thing is to kind of word things properly and always give the, you know, and always give like a, called me unexpectedly. Oh, all good. I see box mapping, line mapping, and bone mapping. It's I think we are talking about construction, right? Like, you're making the boxes, right? And like how the arms are going, etc. It's, well, it's called construction. You want to build the, from what I understand, if I understand what you mean properly. Well, it depends on actually what you want to go for, and if you are still learning stuff. Like, with time you can skip those, but it's good to go further with things, right? Like, you know, when I was up until some streams, you know, before, right, some streams earlier, I was still doing construction of my characters, right? I was doing construction for my characters when I was doing the you know, character sheets, etc. It's really good to do those when you, especially when you don't really know where you want to go with your pose. Then you can like easily move things around. I more or less know what poses I want for those characters, for those. That's why I don't really do the that's why I don't really do the you know, the sketching as much, right? I'm just straight up like sketching with my kind of line art and stuff. So that's more or less the idea. But yeah, it's you know, it's really important to see the fact that there's no bad drawing, right? There's just less experienced artists. There are no flows. There's lack of understanding of certain concepts, right? So yeah, that's the idea. Like, if you are going to see the fact that, oh, I just need to learn, you are going to be motivated to draw. If you are going to constantly hear that your artworks are flawed, this has flaws, that is a flaw, etc., then you are going to start like bringing in negative thoughts, like, oh, my artwork sucks, my artworks are constantly flawed, I can't do anything about it. That's the thing. That's why it's important, while giving criticism, to point something out and immediately follow up with an advice for it. So like, oh, I see your bodies are very blocky. What you can do with that? How make it softer? How you can make it softer? Split it into couple sections, right? Rib cage, tummy, pelvis, and you can like move it a bit differently around because the stomach is going to move, you know, in different directions, right? That is going to give a bit better idea how exactly you should more or less, you know, comprehend the, you know, softness of the movements in some portions, right? Or I don't know, maybe change the, if everything is really rough edged, maybe change the way how you are making your bases, right? How you are making your construction. And what would you know? Someone is going to do that and they are going to end up with artworks that they're going to have a bit better, you know, a bit more enjoyment from, right? Also, there's a lot of stuff that are very strictly connected with stylization. The style doesn't, like, you can't throw something on someone that is connected with the stylization. Like, oh, I'm making noses that is a dot. And someone is coming in, oh, you're making noses wrong. What do you mean? No, it's not. It's my style. I'm doing my noses in as a dot. But it's not realistic. Yeah, because I'm drawing anime, right? That's more or less the idea. Someone has certain way of drawing something. So as long as it's not like a very obvious thing, right? Like, for example, one arm is, you know, just very, like, very long compared to the other one. Sometimes you, while giving the advice, you have to rethink, is that a style? Right? Like, for example, I'm drawing the eyes for some characters that have like white irises, and I've had someone point that out in my DMs. Oh, why are, like, you've forgot to color the iris? No, I didn't. That was on purpose. That's the style choice. That's the stylistic choice for this character. You can do that, right? This is the thing. Hi Star, got over here. How are you? Hope everything's going. Haven't seen you in a while again. Hope you're doing fine. Been a while. How are you? So yeah, I think that, you know, sometimes we have to sit down and kind of put ourselves in the shoes of another person. Like, what is a style? Should I give an advice on that? Is that, you know, something to fix or not? That's why when I see that someone, I'm pretty busy, sorry about not being here a lot. It's okay, it's okay. I'm just, you know, it's good to catch up. You know, I understand you that you might be actually pretty busy. Yeah. So how have you been? And yeah, like, basically when it comes to, you know, drawing and stuff, it's very, you know, that's why I'll, like, the typical art community is very, very restricting. I usually do small and squishy art. Yeah, and like, for example, that might be our art style, like, you know, My Life is Strange comics just arrived. Ooh, that's nice. That's cool. I didn't know they have the comic book series. That's interesting. So yeah. Like, for example, I didn't really talk about how you are making your chibis. You know, I didn't really touch that fact because I knew that this is your style, right? You like your characters very, very squishy, very soft. I love to see a comic about the life of Davis, the god, JK. I mean, there is a comic book in progress. I didn't do anything on that. Actually, we're going to make the comic book making tomorrow at 2 p.m. CT. So, yeah. Like, that's why, for example, I'm always saying the art communities are very toxic because all of them are seeing things that potentially can be just a stylistic choice, and they are looking at it and that's, oh yeah, no, that's a flaw. You don't draw like that. That's restricting. Is Davis a god? In a sort of idea, yeah. So yeah, like the main concept is to like get a bit loose with it. I had one person told me your art style. Yeah, that's like typical thing to say when, it's very unconstructive and it's very restricting. Like, people have art styles that they like and people have art styles that they don't like. You think why there's so many art styles? Because people just simply don't care. If people would care what people say, everyone would draw the same thing, like literally in the same style. There wouldn't be any like idea of individuality in art anymore if everyone would listen to what people say on the internet. There is no flaws, really. There's no flaws. It's just a matter of fact to learn how to properly accustom your art style to the very basic idea of realistic construction of a human being. So like, 2 arms, 2 legs, head, chest, pelvis, legs, feet, hands, right? Like how those are constructed and how you can, and just how you can incorporate that idea into the typical art style of yours, right? Everything else I could assign into stylistic choice. Okay, that is kind of mean, but okay, man. Yeah. That's a good choice of words. Like, yeah, okay, man. You do you. I don't care. That's it. Like the thing that really hurts people a lot is when they are talking things like that. Is when you are not giving them what they want. Because they want you to feel bad, they want you to feel angry at your artwork, they want you to have the idea that your artwork sucks. If you say like, yeah, okay, I know that I have a couple things to work on, maybe even a lot, well, I don't care. I just draw for myself. I'm going to keep drawing, I'm going to keep on improving. After all, it's, I'm just learning, man. That's it. Like, you can say whatever, but you could at least like give a word of advice if you think you are better than me. That hurts because they for example, if they are not capable to give you an advice, that hurts them because they are like, oh wait, if I think I'm better than them, of course I'm better than them, but then they cannot give you the advice. So like, are they actually better than you? That's getting on their psyche. And it's really, and that's a perfect, like a sting into their ego. Like a lot of artists are very egocentric. That's very bad for art. Like, sure, it's good to be proud of what you're drawing. I'm proud of the characters I'm making. I'm proud of my illustrations, right? Like, I'm proud of what I'm doing on streams right now. And because I like it, I like drawing, I'm drawing what I want, and I'm happy with it. I'm proud of that, but it's not like I'm walking around and telling people that, oh, I'm better than you. Like, each one of us have different levels of experience, right? Each one of us started in different, like, in different moments of their lives. All of us started, like, you know, maybe are drawing in different time spans. Like, for example, if I'm drawing for every single day for past 10 years, do you think I've done less or very similar progress than person who is drawing every 5 days for the past 10 years? No, I've done much more progress. Because art, drawing in general, is the skill that you learn physically. Hi Karian, good to be here. How are you? How's going? Hi. Welcome to Twitch. So yeah, the thing is, so basically the thing is that we as artists are learning art through experiences. We want to draw, we want to see that something is off about our artwork, we want to improve. That's how you are learning art. You can't learn if you are not drawing. Of course, you can read the theory, but then you need to learn how to put the theory into practice. Because it's not only requiring some theory, like, oh yeah, those colors are going to fit, this shape is going to give off this idea. Sure, but draw it. Draw those shapes. Use those colors. Shade them. Now you see what I mean, right? There are much more things to art than just pointing out flaws. You know, there's much more things. That's why I'm never saying that something is flawed, because it's not. Someone is not experienced to see those things. Someone is not experienced to get those things right in the first round. You know? Like, look at me, I'm drawing this one, like, pad for a while. Why? Because I'm searching the proper shape. That's it. Right? That's that. Being humble is what pushes us as artists. Being humble. And yeah, like, I really need to get like some textures done for the thing. I might as well just look up some textures on the stream, maybe when I'll be done with the designs of theirs. Also, I'm not sure if I'm going to design both characters or one character. I'm taking a lot of time for this design. He looks kind of like a necromant from Gothic. This artwork you're making reminds me of something I would see in an RPG, yeah. That's good. I'm making, you know, I'm making a high fantasy world. It's good that that's looking like something from RPG. That's the idea. Like, I'm still not sure what kind of, you know, hairstyle I want to give to this character. If I want to give him any hairs. I think I'm going to make him bald. He's a sage. I think sage should be a baldy. So yeah. We improve, we point things out. Also, sometimes it's even good to look at your own older artworks, you know, like you're sitting down, you've got some more experience, you're sitting down and look at it, and like, you know, you're starting to notice something. You look at your newer artworks. Oh wait, I'm doing this thing the same as my older artworks, but I don't think that's right. You know? So what you do now? You just simply, you know, learn how to deal with it. Art is beautiful media. I think there's way too much toxicity for what art is, really. It's way too competitive as for what art was actually done for. And yeah, as I was saying, talent is not something that exists. There's no such thing as talent. It's way to learn quickly. That's what it means to be talented. You've quickly found a way to learn. That's it. That means you've progressed much faster. But guess what? You've progressed much faster. You've learned a lot really quickly. And you're better than someone for a while. Quote unquote better, right? Let's say you're a higher level, higher experience. Because you've been drawing longer, right? You are spending more time on art. You just simply have a bit better idea to learn. What now? You are starting to get proud, right? Oh, my artworks are so good, etc. Like, yeah, sure, they are. Someone spends more time. They're humble. They're starting to draw more and more, right? They're starting to get a better hold of stuff. They've got on your level. What now? Took them long enough. What happens now? You see, you have your art. You know, see, you start to feel something weird. For years, your art has been the same. Nothing changed. You look at the artwork of the other person, and you notice that there's something wrong. That person, all of a sudden, seems to do better shading than you. Why? Because that talent of yours was just the spurt of experience you've got when you've spent more time on drawing when you were, for example, younger, right? And that's how you've got a head start from people. But those people didn't do the thing you've done. For example, right? Like let's say, you know, that person, quote unquote, talented is you, right? So basically, the you know, they are starting to keep drawing, keep on improving, right? You, on the other hand, stopped trying, stopped learning. You are not looking at reference photos anymore. Faces look the same on every drawing because you've got that face syndrome or same face syndrome. You've got your colors are the same over and over again because you start to notice that you only learned one color palette and that's it. And you never really went out of your comfort zone. You're not drawing weapons, you're not drawing backgrounds, you're not drawing anything else. You just draw characters that have similar faces, similar clothing, similar colors, and that's it. And you've spent the same time as that person while that person surpassed you at a certain point. This is called the gifted syndrome, right? This being called gifted syndrome some time ago, but the theory of talent actually got, you know, the theory of talent actually got told what actually it is, right? People found out what talent is. It's just, you know, it just means that you're learning something faster. And that means that, for example, your learning method is good for learning that peculiar thing. But the gifted syndrome is that you've got to Too proud, and you've stopped trying, you stopped learning, you stopped progressing, you're stagnating. That's why so many artists who have been drawing for a really long time, they sit down and they are saying like, nah, drawing is stupid, I don't care about that anymore. Even though they spend their entire life on that. Why? Because they're too proud to admit that their artworks have been actually stagnating in stylization, in quality and everything. Like, you can kind of see this also on all the masters artworks. You can see who stagnated and who was improving. Like, for example, Leonardo da Vinci. Look at his first artworks, look at his older artworks, and then look at Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, who was painted as his last artwork, it was finished as his last artwork. You can see that Mona Lisa seems a bit different from what he's been usually drawing. Why? Well, it's because Mona Lisa was actually continued over time. He didn't sat down and finish it in one go. Creation of Mona Lisa took about 40 years, something like that. From what I remember, he started it when he was like 20 and finished when he was 60. He managed to move countries from Italy to France. That's how much it actually took him to finish Mona Lisa. Well, you look at some artists and you can see that at a certain point they've hit the same wall. You can literally see that quote-unquote gifted syndrome on them. They've hit the same wall. Faces start to look very similar. Like, you can kind of say that Caravaggio had this effect. He learned really quickly how to color. He became quote-unquote master, or even grandmaster of art really quickly. And basically he just stopped progressing. All artworks have, like a lot of artworks have literally the same kind of faces. Of course, different shapes, right? But if you look closer, like people of the same age look quite similar. Unless it's not like live painting, for example, right? If it's his like personal artwork, then yeah, that's like they're similar. If it's an artwork done from, you know, live people, right, like a portrait or something like this, which is most of his artwork, so don't mind that most of his artworks are going to look a bit differently. Like most of his artworks are portraits. But if you are looking at artworks like his own artworks, right, like some fantasy themed artworks, etc., you are going to be able to see what I'm talking about. Oh? Oh, I think I've missed something. Wait, all good? Yeah, all good. Mm-hmm. Nina wants to play with the birds. Yeah, let's go, let's go. So yeah, sorry, I thought that something happened on stream. So yeah, I'm sorry for that like long talk about, you know, progression of art, etc. Again, like I'm very passionate about it and I really want people to like keep on trying, keep on improving. And I also want to, you know, if someone ever would like sit down and like think about it, I want them to, and like they are watching the stream now, I want them to like rethink, right, their kind of like thinking. So yeah, the longest I've spent on a single painting is a month, and I was going nuts, repainting almost every single part, every session. Oh my god, Carrion. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's actually, yeah, I've had this moment, definitely. It's no fun. no good. And yeah, now imagine like making an artwork and it didn't even turn out that good. Yeah, and now imagine like spending your life, like 40 years of your life on one artwork. Right? Like, you know, Da Vinci did. Bopper, let's go. Let's go, Bobar. Bobar. Let me check actually something because I'm wondering. Because I'm watching Rino Tuna a lot. I want to see if he's doing like his noses a bit differently, a bit more roughed up, not necessarily like typical anime noses. Because like anime can be definitive, yeah, like he's changing and depending on how rough he's going. Like think about Rino Tuna's artworks is that he can really well manipulate what's going on. Like how much realism he wants to incorporate into his artworks. And yeah, I see those things. So I guess I can just do this. And this, and I'm just going to know things. And... a quick goatee. Hello, Lurker. Yeah? Hello. Good to have you, Lurker, on board. But yeah, like, I have to say that art is, very... how to say this? It's very... It's a passion. I've spent like literally most of my life. I'm 25. I've spent almost 20 years of my life in art simply. Almost 20 years. Like in January 27th, it's going to be 20 years. Because I've literally started drawing on my birthday. On my 6th birthday. Like, more advanced artworks, I mean. Because of course, like I was drawing stickmans and stuff. I was drawing like Dragon Ball characters that were not stickmans when I was 6. I've spent nearly 20 years of my entire life on art. And I'm drawing every day for like... Man... I was like 14, so like 11 years generally. Yeah. That's why I really want people to be more open to art and be more kind to each other when it comes to it. And also once again slamming the goddamn doors outside of my blog. Hey, that's funny. I've been enjoying my entire life too. I'm only 15 though. Yeah. Like, for example, like, when I was younger, it took me a long time to understand a couple things. Like when I was younger, I was, for example, I'm telling like, well, I was talking all about that, flows and how we shouldn't actually talk about it, etc. that way. I was calling those things flows too. I was calling out issues. It hit me later on my journey, where I've explained that where I have understood that it's more than a failure, more than an issue, more than a flaw. I'm talking about this from an experience. It took me a long while to learn that, and I'm passing on this knowledge, so people could catch on that way faster. As a matter of fact, there's a guy who's like art guru or something like that on YouTube, I don't know. He's been very toxic. He says like, oh, well, your art is never going to be good. You'll never be an artist. You'll never be a professional artist. You think your art sucks? Good. Because it does. Right? Like, this is what he says to people. It's not right. Every art is beautiful. There are just less experienced artists who need guidance in their journey. Because art is a journey after all. That's what's beautiful. Art is beautiful. That's why I think that, you know, we should like give a bit more credit to people, even though they are writing that, oh yeah, I know that it has some issues, or oh, I know that it has problems with that and that. Let's look deeper into that artwork. What besides that we can see, right? And let's give advices on those. And you can also give advices on those things that they pointed out. Maybe, I mean, they can see those things, but maybe they don't know how to deal with them, right? It's always good to do that. Like, we need to be open to people. It's the moment when they are actually starting to like snap at you because you're giving them advices. That's when they are in the wrong. They are wrong. They've asked for your help first, right? That's why I've made 2 separate channels. Either you want criticism or you don't want criticism. And as long as the criticism is not like, oh, your art sucks, don't draw anymore, but actually constructive criticism with given advices, on Critics channel you have no right to be mad that people pointed something out, because you've sent the artwork on channel where you are going to receive advices and criticism, right? That's the thing. And if someone doesn't have bad day, doesn't want to hear anything, any advices on their artwork, okay, there. Exhibit. People there are just going to give you compliments. That's what that channel is for. It's for exhibiting the artwork. No criticism, no advices. Just, you know, I like my artwork. What do you think? I like it too. Nice. I'm happy. I had a bad day, I needed to hear that, right? Sometimes, like, you know, I've been there, I've been here, I've been actually everywhere, all over the place at this point. I was in the time where I've slept 4 hours throughout the entire week, got myself in the point where I've lost in a week about 10 kilograms, slept only 4 hours, had nosebleeds almost constantly, and was losing consciousness every 2 hours. Right? I've got myself into that one. That's something that I'm also going to, you know, advise people strongly against. Like, okay, draw, but remember that if you are going to sacrifice your sleep, your eating, your, you know, water, you can actually hurt yourself that way, right? It's you know, it's a dilly. It's very important to you know, as an artist, it's very important to be somewhere, right? Be yourself, be happy with yourself, be happy with your art. Sure, you want your art style to look like this, go for it, right? You want your art stylized? Sure, go ahead. Like, you know, heck, like, even if someone wants to have like very realistic clothing, like down to the texture of it, right? And anime characters with cell shading, try and see. Maybe it's going to work. Last time I've said that it might not work, or, you know, that this is wrong. I was also in the wrong there, right? Like, sometimes I'm forgetting that rule, like, maybe it's going to work. But that also proves that sometimes it's better not to listen to people, right? It's your guts that you're supposed to listen to. The best criticism that can be placed on your artwork is made by you, always. People never know what goes in your head. People don't know that you might have been like going for a specific art style. People don't know that you might have been doing something on purpose, right? Of course, it's like if it's like a, you know, an art style where you know the normal anatomy should be applied to, and something is wrong, like arm is too long, etc., then of course you should listen to what they say, because like, for example, they pointed out something that makes sense, right? But if they're like pointing out stuff like, oh, I don't like those pastel colors, it's your stylistic choice. I don't like this shading, it's stylistic choice. I mainly just draw for validation or feeling something other than disappointment. Art has always given a different feeling from what I usually feel, a unique kind of sadness, happiness, anger. To be fair, drawing for validation from others is usually a letdown. It's self-destructing behavior, that I can tell you. Like, sure, that, cool. But when someone is going to point something out, it hurts. Because you want to hear good things. You want the validation. You get angry, you get sad, it hurts, right? It's also a disappointment when someone is giving you advices or points something out in your artwork. That's that. The thing to draw is to draw for, well, everyone has their own goals for drawing. I think what I can say that I found the best working for me when it comes to that, you know, when it comes to that goal, is to draw for sake of creating something. I am happy when I can create. That gives a different sense of joy. I'm sitting right now, right? I've been chilling for the entire day. I've got angry a little bit. But whenever I'm sitting down and I'm drawing, I have this feeling. It's not really that normal kind of validation. I actually hate generic compliments, what emphasize me, you know, is an insight that takes deep thinking, like advice. The person saying something creative. Well, then it's not really a validation, is it? Right? Isn't validation the way that people are just saying, oh, hey, good job, and kind of that thing? You feel validated that people like your stuff? For me, that's validation. Oh, I see. That's how I get validated. Gotcha. Well, then you are drawing for an improvement. Because you are drawing and you feel validated when people are giving you advices, criticism or constructive approval, right? Saying what they like, what they don't like, and, you know, giving you an overall. But if you are going to reach the level when there will be literally zero room to improve, well, what will be then? It's not like people are going to give you advices on stuff that you've already nailed. You know, I've been very rarely receiving any advices. Recently, I've been usually letting know that, oh, the eye is a bit messed up. right? Like, this is the thing, like, you know, a demise of an artist, the other eye. I only care about my art being good. I don't want to enforce that style onto others, even though I still accidentally do it. Yeah, because like your consideration of good art might not necessarily be what other people consider a good art, you know? Like, this is objective. Art is very objective. People are going to look at Leonardo da Vinci and say that that's crap, and then look at some anime girl drawn on the internet and say that, hey, that's actually good, right? Like, they have different tastes. They have different, again, also viewers have different experience, right? So basically, you know, each artist, each viewer, they are going to have different experiences. So it's good to entail. I think entail is wrong word to say in this situation. So it's good to say that, you know, we should be very accepting, very welcoming of other people's opinions, no matter what they say. Like, again, if you want to really get proper treatment, look at what you are going for, because and apply it only to your artworks. For others, look at it from basics. Are basics there? Yes? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's good. Basics are proper. Maybe that one arm is a bit off of the proportions. You could try looking into that. That's it, right? But when you're, for example, doing your style and saying like, oh, hey, this and this is wrong, but this is like oh, your eyes are wrong, they're supposed to be tear canal, your eyes are not closed. You're literally pointing out stuff that would like be connected to something for a different art style, right? Like, you can kind of see where someone is going with specific art styles, but it doesn't mean that, you know, people are going to generally like sit in for example, for your art style, right? That's why it's very difficult to get a proper criticism, because you never know. You never know. That's why I always say that, you know, remember that people have different experiences. That's what is most important in like considering art of others, and have your art considered by the others. Because like, you might draw the most realistic clothing, right? Or the most realistic face. But I don't care about faces. What would you do then? I would pay more attention to hers. That's that, right? That's that. There are people who pay attention only to one thing. Sometimes they take artworks as the reference photos. Then they are going to look at only that one thing that they need. I love it too, Moto. I love it too. That's why, you know, I like how people, whenever I see people, for example, improving in their basics, and I like when they're starting to develop their own art styles. That's why, for example, when I look at, you know, someone's artwork and I see like that they are doing really good with basics, I'm not giving them advices. I'm not leading them towards an art style, because I don't know what they want in the end. And who knows, maybe they are going to change their mind overall. That might mix up their, you know, their thoughts about it. I think that giving like proper advice to art is very difficult, because you never know. If you would know, then you would be able to give the best art advice to the person that you can, but you never know. It's a very sticky ground on that. I'm the lurker, no sound. Yep. Hi hi. Thank you, Zega, for lurking. Hope you have fun on your game night. Like, for example, here's the thing. I was drawing my nose as more realistic. I was drawing my nose like this. And this. For example, right? And then draw something like that. You know what I've heard? Oh, you're drawing the noses wrong. Noses in anime are dots. No, they are not. There's a lot of artists that don't draw their noses like this. Like Rino Tuna not looking that far away. Like his noses are very like very shaded. He's connecting realism with anime quite strongly. That horn is wrong, for example. I need to move it a little bit. Yeah. And I think it needs to be in a different angle. Yeah. More visible like this. So yeah, it's good to be open for the fact that there's no such thing as a flaw. I think the nose shadow is not working for this one. The nose needs to be tilted a little bit more like this. There you go. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Grandma is asking about you. Oh. What's she's asking about? What are you doing? I'm drawing. Damn it. I need to be a bit different. Like this. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we are going to make the second character today. I don't think we're going to make this character today. How much time did it pass? Like almost hour, right? Hour 12 minutes, yeah. Had a feeling. We've spent hour and 12 minutes on drawing not even the full upper half. I want this clothing to be a bit more thick. And those to be like a padding. So we need to be able to show the thickness of these. I think I'm placing too much effort into this this character design. It should be a sketch and ending up to be, you know, whole thing. But actually, this is another trick of Inotuna. But I'm learning his style because it's like exactly what I want, just with some changes. Mm. Oh my. Look at this dude. Hi Rylan, good to be here. How are you? Hope has going. I'm wondering if I should give him like a mustache like this. No, I don't think so. I can give him like a scar though. Mm-hmm. He's looking cool. Yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. So just slowly. We're progressing on the thing. Tap, tap, tap. Nah, that's a bit bad. I need first to draw this section. Yeah, I'm happy how he turns out. He's turning out really cool. Mm-hmm. that one should be starting above like this. Yeah, I didn't account it for the movement there previously, so that's good. And now this. I think the rest of the clothing is not really coming out that bad. That's something I like to see. I can't be trying speeding through it. The moment you start speeding, that's like when the artwork gets down the drain. Okay. And here. The latest NVIDIA drivers are broken on Linux. I had to switch to an older build. Oof. That gonna sting. I'm using Windows though. So that works for me, and I'm not really updating my drivers. I don't think I need to. I've got them to the level when everything works. If it works, it works. The moment I'm going to start having issues and it's like, oh yeah, update the drivers, then I'm going to do that. So far I didn't experience any issue like this where I had to update my drivers. I've had one problem in my previous PC. That's where I've learned it. I couldn't run .hackgu last 3 code. It was crashing. I had no idea what's going on. And then there was like, oh, are your drivers updated? They're supposed to, I guess. Yeah, just try. And I've updated them, and it worked. So gotta check for solutions. Sometime later, I've noticed that people on the community started writing the same thing, because it was like wide known problem that is crashing. Those fingers are wonky. Okay. That thumb is also looking so bad. Oh no. What is happening today? Lol, this one breaks many GTK4 applications, making them unable to close and bringing the entire desktop sessions down. Chrome has graphical glitches on some sites. Bruh. That's so bad. I wouldn't update my drivers at this point, I guess. And that... Let's draw rectangles with triangles for the hands, leave them until the end pane. Yeah, I'm usually also doing that. Actually, this is how it looked like for me. But even right now, I'm drawing those too, but I'm not leaving them until the end. When I'm working on something, I'm working it until I can call it finished for that step. Then I'm moving on to something else. Hmm. Damn it. My hand is actually like fell asleep. Like my pinky and the ring finger fell asleep for some reason. I mean, I'm pressing on them, but you know what I mean. I think sages would have like... I don't think they would have like a magic wand out of the like well carved or anything like this. Yeah, alternatives to Pinterest right now I'm using a reference, but the search results are not great. Everything else is nice though. Google Graphics. So yeah, Google Graphics are like most likely working perfectly. Quite often. Hey Davis, I'm gonna head out, sleeping soon, resting up so I can be perfectly energized during her stream to talk. Yeah, sure, alrighty T, alrighty. Take care, bye bye. Hope to see you later. Okay. And or okay. Hope you don't hear my dog. He loud. He's being taken for additional walkies. Okay, we have a belt. Ah, gee, imagine drawing all that during the freaking illustration. That'll be a pain. I hate myself, apparently. I mean, that's the thing. If you know that you're going to draw a character a lot, you want to draw the design very easy for you. Like, for sure, I'm not going to draw that many aspects. Like, that's also a thing for how do you call it? There's also a thing that you can meet on like game references and stuff. Like, some characters on paper are very much more detailed than what you see in the show or game. Try to give him like an animal pelt here. That animal pelt is not even. Yeah. What gives? Let's make it kind of like Broly's pelt that he had. Okay. And have you heard of guns? I got to chapter 300 and became too scared to continue. Well, manga is wild. No, I didn't. I think the dress. It kind of looks like a dress, so I'm like, oh, dress. Yeah, nah, I don't think it's a dress. I need it to be longer because legs there. Like I wanted to cover the, like, you know, his entire legs, so there wouldn't be even a foot sticking out. I don't get mad, I can even. Yeah. Hmm. Yep, and we can get that out. I'm slowly done with this design, but I think it's about 2 hours now. Is it? Okay, and the thing here, I'm not sure, maybe like a crystal or something like that. Yeah, like he took it up and squeezed it between the twigs. But yeah, Karian, yeah. I'm not sure I never heard about it. I assume it's like a horror manga. I might be interested because I like horror stories. About the design I was working on, I've only decided on this car shape. Also, yours is looking good. Thank you. Thank you. So, righty. We've got that design. Here's the demon sage. How long we have? Hour and 49 minutes. Ooh, okay. So I guess we are not going to even start the next one, unfortunately. Oh my heart hurt? My back hurts. My heart's barking. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Alrighty. So, of course, you know, this was a bit unexpected stream. It's about being kidnapped and forced to kill otherworldly beings. It's sci-fi. It gets really dark. Oh, I see. That's nice. So yeah, oh my, how are we naming the demon sage now? Folks, naming. Let's go. You can name him. Ramen. Sounds cool. I can give it to him. What? There you go. Ramen. Okay, so we have ramen. On the next sketching stream, we are going to actually work on the angel one, which is going to be the shadow. Yes. So his name is Ramen. And lastly is going to be Angel Shadow, which is literally going to be designed on the Monday stream. I have to tell you that it's going to be crazy. We are so close in completing 20 OCs. That's I think I've worked half a year on that project. I think we've started at like even more. I think we've started at around December. Yeah, I think we've started designing those characters around December. On January we've got like last version of the entire Team Broken Light, and we've started to continue with Team Cabaret, Grey, Freebird, Horny Jail. Damn, I only had 3. I mean, we've worked a lot on those. Like, we've actually worked a lot on those. Genuinely. And actually, there are going to be changes, folks. Changes in my commissioning. I'm going to take commissioning a bit more. I'm going to set prices for sketches, flats, and colored pieces. Of course, you know, the quality. I'm going to set it like that, you know, and the prices are going to change a little bit. I think I'm going to draw a character like that. Well, generally an artwork, you know, in this style, a sketch like that for like $5, right? Then flats, just, you know, $7, and entire shaded version 15. That's going to be the new price list, I can tell you already. I know it might seem a bit cheap. I'm doing this because, you know, I just want to make it more accessible for folks. I want to, you know, just kind of start with something. So yeah, feel free to start preparing material if you'll be interested. I'm going to figure out, you know, all the pricing, change vision, and yeah. Meanwhile, thanks Muto, thanks Karian and Zega for being active chat on Twitch. Thanks T, Hitori, Star, and Ryland for being active chat on YouTube. As always, folks, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next one.